Hey, it's Denise. I am going to not show you the entire process because it's going to take hours. In fact, I probably won't even get it all done today because it's already 3 o'clock and it's Friday, which for me, I am a total Townsend's nerd, Nutmeg Tavern regular visitor, and their live stream is at 4 o'clock. So from 4 to 5, I'll be watching them. Highly recommend if you enjoy history. I wasn't really even a big history buff, per se. In fact, I generally find more ancient history more interesting than 18th century history. But Townsend's is really a great channel, and John, the host, is super interesting and really, he does a lot of cooking videos and then does some videos on other, like, they recently did an episode on how bricks were made. They do episodes on how tools and everyday stuff you'd use around the house were made. But primarily, his regular videos, like weekly videos, are often cooking videos using recipes from the 18th century. Their live streams will often pick a general topic, maybe sailors, maybe one week it was pies, one week it was different types of trades. So the live streams are always interesting. It's a very family-friendly channel that's educational and has a super friendly chat. So it's like you can watch it with your kids and you can get your history nerd on while in a super positive, I have to say it is one of the most super positive, pleasant YouTube channels to watch. It is really enjoyable. And their live streams, like I said, Friday at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. Anyway, having said that and explaining why I'm no way going to get this finished, I wanted to show you at least what I'm going to start. And there's no way I would make you watch me sort through all this because you wouldn't want to. It's literally going to take hours. What am I talking about? I'm talking about my seed collection. I may have made you nervous that I was going to make you look at it all, because in one video recently, when I was talking about the fact that we are seeing a little bit of a seed shortage, and they're predicting perhaps a seed shortage. I can't say seed shortage quickly. I just start making the words not right. They're saying that we have to kind of be on the lookout for a seed shortage in the spring as well. Now, seed companies are already selling the seeds for next year, so if you can get them, and like I've done 2 recent videos of seeds that I have gotten, they may not be the varieties I usually buy, and in some cases they're completely different plants that I have never tried to grow before. But I figure, let me get what I can get and see, first of all, hopefully I'll find some new favorites. And also, it never hurts to have extra plants. You can give them to your neighbors if they want a garden. If you are someone who goes to farmers markets, you can always sell extra started plants at your farmers market. So they're just not a bad thing to have, especially, with the whole, I don't say this to be alarmist, I just say it to keep people up to date with what's going on. We all know that people are worried about the security of their food chain, or else there wouldn't be a shortage of canning supplies and a shortage of gardening supplies. So, with that said, I decided it was time to get the big scary box that is my seed collection. As I've mentioned in the other videos, don't ever throw away your seeds at the end of the season just because you didn't use them all. It says on them what year they, like it'll say for season 2020 or 2021 on the case of the seeds I'm buying now. But just because you don't use them all that spring, it doesn't mean that they're bad. If you store them, like you can see my seeds are in plastic bags, and I keep them in my bedroom, which obviously is climate controlled. It doesn't get super cold or super hot. Seeds can stay good for years. So don't throw them out just because the date on them is last year or the year before. You might have a lower germination rate, but don't throw them out because of that. So my goal is to turn this nightmare. Do you see all of these? Are we getting an idea here? These littler bags, so you see all those tiny little packets in there. Some of them are small individual plastic bags. That's seedsnow.com sells them that way. Those bigger colorful bags are seeds that I saved myself. Then regular more seed packets. Aren't you glad I'm not opening every bag and showing you? You'd be horrified. Seeds I saved myself, spaghetti squash, daisies I saved from my own perennial garden, more packets of seeds, some more packets of seeds. What have we got here? More packets of seeds. And yes, more packets of seeds, more packets of seeds. Can you see like how thick some of these bags are? There are a lot. Like here again is Seeds Now. You can see lots and lots of individual small packets of seeds. Not even necessarily small amount of seeds, just they package them in those little bags. Another like bursting bag of packets of seeds. Close this one back over. This is what is this one? Oh, this is mushroom spores. Yeah, package of mushroom spores. I was going to say an empty bag. How did that happen? More seeds that I saved. These are the ones I had showed you in the other video, the pepper seeds that I saved. Another bag of seed packets with, you can see in the side there how many like small bags are in and packets are in the bigger bag. I think we're down to the end, almost just a few more bags of packets. There's only maybe 3 or 4 packets in here. And then last but certainly not least, wrapped up in some paper is a few more packets in here. So, did I show you this one? There's like 2 in there. Okay. So what is the goal here? The goal here is to organize all of these so that I can find what I'm looking for. Get things into smaller containers, like if it's a large bag, see if I can get it into a smaller bag. And then from here, I want to get them. You can see why this like has to go. These are extra AeroGarden sponges for starting seeds in my AeroGarden. Have I shown you guys these? They are, it's kind of self-explanatory. They're peat moss sponges, and you stick, there's like a little dent in the top of them. You can see like an individual sponge. I'm going to open the whole 50 pack. Like that's the size of an individual sponge there. And at the top there's a little indent. You put your seed in there. You put it in the little plastic basket thing and you sit it in your AeroGarden. Or for the actual seed starting, if you don't plan on fully growing the plant in the AeroGarden, they have a different tray for the top that they're much closer together, and these just directly drop in. You don't even need the basket. That's for literally just starting to sprout them. You're not planning on leaving that many plants in there to grow. So you could start plants in there that you're then going to transfer into a different container to actually finish growing them. So love these, always have them on hand. Now, what I'm looking at doing, not with these, but like here are the baskets, in case you're not familiar with AeroGardens. There's a basket shoved in here, amidst these zinnia and other things. You take one of those peat moss sponges with your seed in it, drop it in here so it's, you know, kind of hanging out in there, and then this sits into your aero garden so that, like, the bottom is, you know, as the roots grow, they're in water. And also the aero garden is, you know, is on a timer that I think it's like every 45 minutes or so. It waters and it pours water into the, so that before it has roots that could reach down, it's getting watered from the top. Every 45 minutes or so, it waters for a minute. I don't know. I don't have those times exactly right, and you can adjust them. But, so if you're not familiar with using an aero garden, that's kind of how easy it is. Problem is, as you can see, hundreds of seed packets for dozens of types of plants. No organization. That's where this comes in. This I also saw somebody else using. And they were like, hey, I got this on Amazon. So I looked on Amazon, and sure enough, I was like, I think that might be the answer for me. It is sold as a photo and craft storage box. I haven't opened it yet. It just arrived. Here we go. So you can see it's got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 of these cases. They also had it for, I believe, the same price with multicolored cases, but I felt like I want to be able to easily just see through them and read, like if all my tomato seeds are in one, and all my greens are in another, and all my beans are in another, and all my zinnias are in another. Like, I'll have to see, you know, break it down to 16 categories of things, and you might be like, 16's a lot. You saw that collection. 16's not a lot. Then I'll have to, you know, label each individual one. But they're pretty decent size if you look at them, really. So I think you would get a pretty decent number of seed packets in each one. And then all 16 of them would be stored in this pretty decent sized case, which I think will be a whole lot more organized than trying to dig through this and having to open every bag and look through when I'm trying to find something. At one point I tried to be so organized, I actually had a notebook and I would write down whenever I got a new variety of seeds. That lasted for about a week. I just don't like tedious kind of organization like that. Like, I can plan it, I can implement starting it, but the actual upkeep of it, so not my thing. I'm like one of those people who could come in and be like, this is how we're organizing this. But if it involves a whole lot of upkeep, I'm going to get sick of it really fast. So separating them out into the individual boxes, just as I get the seeds, I just pick the right case to put them in. That will be so much easier for me than having these just bags with random things stuffed in them. So that's what I have planned for the next couple days to get that done. And when it's done and beautiful, I will show it to you. Anyway, just wanted to let you know, and I hope you guys are making whatever preparations you can for gardening in your area, whether it's going to be a full garden, you know, an in-ground garden, or a container garden, or just a patio garden, maybe just some plants on a sunny window area in your house. Maybe you do hydroponic gardening like I do. I happen to use aero gardens, as I've mentioned, but there are plenty of other small indoor hydroponic systems. Or you can grow things in pots and soil. There are so many different ways to grow anything. I can talk about plants and gardening for hours. So you've probably, if you've watched my other gardening videos, you've heard. You know how I feel about gardening. It's important. We should all do it. Being connected to where your food comes from, even if it's just a very small percentage of your food, even if it's just the herbs and spices that you use, or some medicinal herbs, or some, cooking herbs. Whatever. Growing them yourself is really gratifying, and it's a step towards self-reliance, which is always a good thing, I think. So I always encourage people, you don't have to, you don't have to be a farmer to have a garden. And you don't have to have, been born with a green thumb or have had parents who were into gardening to learn how to garden. So there's a lot of information readily available out there on how to get started in gardening. So I highly recommend it. So for me, turning that mess into a neat collection is my next step that I can do during this cold weather to make it much easier to get ready for the spring garden next year, and also to maybe grow a couple things over the winter in the house, either hydroponics or in pots, and see what I get. So please hit the like button. Feel free to share. Think about subscribing. It's not a long-term commitment. You can hit the subscribe button and decide, later on if it's not for you. Well, I don't really see what would be not for you if you like videos about unboxings, reviews of various products. I review pretty much everything from A to Z. If I get something that I think is a product that might be of interest, I'll do an unboxing and a review. And also gardening specific videos, and also I do sometimes just sort of my opinion on things, whether it's current events, disabilities, and particularly invisible disabilities and medical conditions that people live with that maybe people are not aware of and need just a little bit of having their eyes open to, so that they can be sensitive to the needs of people who are living with them, and also to give a little moral support to those of us who are living with them. It can be very frustrating. Anyway, again, thank you for watching, and have a great day.